Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. Um, and those of you who identify as gender neutral. Um, I have a requested video today. I was on Messenger with Chawny, who is GA Peach Cooks and Plans, and she said I could do a video of how to get out of a craft slump. Which I said to her, I was like, well, I don't really have any surefire ways. And then sometimes my craft slump is, oh boy, sometimes my craft slump is physical exhaustion. Sometimes my craft slump isn't even like a slump in crafts. Sometimes it's like I just don't have the energy to do what needs to be done. And I'm guessing that's what I'm trying to say. So, what I wanted to also show you how to use these stamps. So stay tuned. I had a request for that as well. And I also think I'm going to show you how to do paper flowers. But maybe that's going to be in another video. I'll have to shoot it and then see how long it is and see if it's not going to be another video. But anyway, there's a helicopter. I live nowhere near where there's ever helicopters. It's got to be life flight. That's sad. Every time I hear a helicopter in Raleigh, I feel for the person. Anyway, how to get out of a craft slump? Well, you know, I guess like out of any slump, you know, whether you're motivated to be a writer or anything creative or cleaning your house or getting out of the house or exercise, whatever it is to get you out of your slump, right? Well, there's, like I said, I don't have a surefire formula, but what I do is I first make I have a mental conversation with myself. Sometimes I'll start with the approach of pros and cons. Like, what's the pros of doing it now? What's the pros of doing it then? What do I need? Will I need to do it? Do I need to do it sooner than later? Like, okay. So as far as being in a craft slump, and I've been there because I've said it before, either my brain is in organization mode or cleaning mode or it's in creative mode, and they never the twain shall meet. Which is difficult when you have a YouTube channel that focuses on, you know, DIYs and craft tutorials. So how do you get into that mood? Well, for me, it's a different motivation than for a lot of you all. For me, it's my job. So sometimes I just force myself to get started. Now, it is very difficult for me to force myself to be creative. If I'm going to get started, I'm going to get started on something that I can afford to mess up. Now, here's what I mean by that. I am going to not start with the one heart topiary wreath that I have. I'm going to start with my flower pot pens because I have 7 of those. And if I mess up one, I can do 6 others, is really what it is. Because I find that when I force myself to be creative, I often make lots of mistakes. And I don't know if any of you are like that. I can get overwhelmed at times. And obviously you guys are all so lovely and gracious and say, like, no, don't get overwhelmed. But it's just the nature of the beast. You know, it's not just about the YouTube channel and coming up with content and creating for you guys. It's also about my family and, you know, my health. And there's lots of things that create the sensation of getting overwhelmed. But to come up with new things and different things, and I know that that's not a problem for a lot of people. A lot of people go on YouTube, see someone's idea, recreate it for their videos, which isn't bad because we don't all watch everybody's channel. But for me, it's trying to come up with stuff that's unique or stuff that I feel like you haven't seen in a long time, like these flower pens. I mean, we created those back in the 90s, and I'm not really sure. Some of you weren't even alive then, you know. Same with the towel angels, and I have lots of things from back then that I did quite often that that are coming around again, or you guys are interested in seeing. So I'm bringing them to you. So Chani, I hope that this helps. I'm not really sure about the creative slump. Sometimes it is just about the motivation to get started. And if that's what you're mentioning, then yes, then sometimes just start with something that you can afford to mess up. Because if you're not in the zone sometimes, or if you're not in the groove, you know, you sometimes can mess it up, and you just need to be able to afford to do that. I mean, you know, I've got a lot of flowers. So if I wanted to do a project that required flowers, I could afford to do that, because if I mess them up, they're inexpensive and I can replace them. So that's my tip for motivating you out of a slump. So the next thing I wanted to show you is these stamps. So I wanted to show you these stamps that I hauled the other day. A subscriber put in the comments for me to, could I show everybody how to use these, because she was making a mess. So I wanted to just point out a couple of things. So back in last spring, and I know that they came out again, but I didn't get the new ones, Dollar Tree had these. So these are the same sort of stamps. They are clear silicone or rubber stamps, depending on, you know, I'm pretty sure they're silicone, so I don't think you can make clear rubber. So they're clear, or vinyl maybe even. They're clear stamps, and you put them on a clear block, which you can get. These blocks came with these sets. Not came with them, but you know, they sold them at the same time. And they're acrylic sets, and the acrylic blocks that you buy for these stamps usually have a grid on them. Do you see that? That is, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's the company. So they come with like a grid on them so that you can line your stamps up properly. But I don't know that that's even necessary. But these acrylic blocks do not fit these rubber stamps. All of them anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to show you how to do the process. And then I'm going to show you an alternative if you can't find an acrylic block. So I'm going to open up this one with the tree. Okay, so it's like this, and it has a clear plastic cover. And it's important that you make sure that you put your stamp on backwards. And here's what I mean like that. See how it says happy birthday like that? It has to be backwards happy birthday. So I'm going to take my, let me angle the camera down. Oop. Am I still there? Okay. Oh, how about if I move all the mess? Well, that's just the paper I'm going to use. So let's see. So I'm going to take the clear plastic, and I'm going to stick the stamps on this way. I want to align them up. See, this is very hard to see. I want to align them up. I flipped it over, and I want to align them up where I want it to be. So when I look through the stamp, it says happy birthday. That is the correct way to do it. Can you see that? Okay, so now that I have it printed like that, and I've offset it, so it says happy, actually it doesn't, it says birthday happy. So it says happy birthday. Let's do it that way. So that's how I want it to be. You can also go straight across with it, whatever, okay? And you use the grid lines to help you line up your words and stuff. So the best way that I have always learned to ink, or I have always had to ink, excuse me, is I take, I like mini ink pads. But this is what I have today. I also have full-size ink pads, but today I'm using mini ink pads. And I like to ink the stamp, not stamp in the ink, okay? So what you do is you rub your ink across your stamp, get a full coating, and then figure out where you want it to go, and then stamp it. And then it says happy birthday, okay? Now there is stamp ink cleaner. While it's wet, you can rinse it under water to get all of these. I don't even know how many times you can ink on one. Okay, good good to know. So then you just put them back where you got them. And you want to make sure that keep your sticky. It's really not sticky. What I mean by keep your sticky, it's not that it's got adhesive on it. It really works with like silicone suction. Do you know what I mean? Like how silicone sticks to acrylic. So then the next one I wanted to show you is I want to take one of these big ones. Now, this big one will not fit on this ink pad. I mean this acrylic pad. And I think that they sell the acrylic blocks. I think they sell stamping supplies at all the major craft stores. I haven't really seen much at Walmart here, but everybody's Walmart does have a little bit of different stuff. Okay, so this one won't fit on here, so I'm not even gonna, like, I'll show you, it doesn't fit. So what I want to show you is if you take a jar, a vase or a jar that has flat, straight sides, and that's important. It can't be curved. It can't be curved like this. Okay. This particular jar has flat, straight sides. And they're not perfectly flat. Like, they're little, you know, glass, like handmade glass imperfections. But that is enough to show you that you can use something round. Okay, so I want to show you. Did I do that backwards? Hold on, I'm sorry. I just realized. So the moon is on the right. Okay, yeah, so that's good. So I wanted to show you how you could use something round. Okay, so again, I take my stamp, my ink, I'm sorry, and I ink my stamp because that's what I like to do. Now, what's good about inking your stamp is you can get that ombre effect. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Maybe I'll show you that. So now that I've inked my entire stamp, I can put it where I want it, start it where I'm going to start it, and roll it. Okay, and I wanted to show you this because they don't sell the appropriate blocks at the Dollar Tree, and if you don't have a lot of money. So this is what the stamp looks like, and then you're supposed to be able to color it yourself. Okay? I will show you an ombre effect. What can I show you an ombre effect on? Do I have any big words? So you want to do an ombre effect. You want to make sure you have a clean stamp as to not mess up. Let's see, birthday wishes. Okay. Before the flood, the Hurricane Sandy came to New York, I had much more inking and stamping supplies. The thing is that they aren't waterproof. The stamps were, so I saved some of the stamps. Some of the stamps were wooden, and the wooden stamps came off the rubber, like the rubber came off the wood. Okay, so I'll take some red, some black, and some silver. So what I'll do is I'll do black on one edge, red on the other edge, and silver on the middle. Is it silver or gold? I think it's, well, it's metallic gold. I'm sorry, it's not silver. So to do the ombre effect, you want to put your ink in layers. What I like to do is I like to ink my middle first. Okay. That's what I like to do. Get it nice like a stripe straight across. See that? Can you see it? It's really difficult to see. So a stripe straight across. And then I'll come back with the black on one end, and I'll blend it into the red on that end. Just come right up to the red line. And then the gold on the other end. So when you use a stamp pad and you dip into the stamp pad, you can't do this. You can only do this when you ink your stamp. Okay? So you can see here, it has like black and red. And it's not the best example of ombre, honestly. The best example would be if you had pink, red, and dark red. So ombre is really like one shade, but this is how you achieve it. I don't have any other ink pads except these 4. So anyway, so that's it. Those are my stamping, clear stamp tutorial. Hi. So that is, as they say that, I wanted to show you this, and I did, and I wanted to show you that, and I did. I think that the flowers, the paper flowers, are going to be like a tutorial on its own, because I know it doesn't take a very long time to do, but it does take longer than 5 minutes or something. So that will follow. I'll do that next, and that will follow. So I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope I helped with how to use these new clear stamps. Like I said, they do sell bigger acrylic blocks at the craft stores, but I don't have a craft store here. So this is what I have. So go to. Dollar Tree also has straight-sided vases. Straight-sided vases. And if you have like a glass plate that's completely flat on the bottom, you can do that. Dollar Tree has those as well. It's just that they'd be a little bit bigger to handle. But if you're more focused on dipping, you know. So that's my tips. My tips are ink the pad. Don't pad the ink. No. Ink the stamp. Don't stamp into the ink. You use any flat, straight-sided jar to roll your stamps on. And how to do ombre techniques. And wash your stamps. I'm going to go do that now. Okay, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Hopefully you like this vlog a little bit. And if you have anybody who wants to know how to do these, how to use the stamps, and how to get out of their slump, share this video with them. And as always, you know, take care. God bless. See you next time. Bye. Why do I always forget to like stamp off? Now that I've shown you that.